iOS 13 versus Android Q. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to iOS 13. This is the public beta 5 or developer beta 6 here for the iPhone XR is the phone I'm using in this video, and this is Android Q beta 6, I believe it is. This is like the final release before the official comes, so you're not going to see too much different in the software. Now, I want to mention that this video is not about me saying one software is better than the other or the other software is better than the other, or this is not a comparison between iPhone XR and Google Pixel over here. This is a comparison of Android and iOS to see which software might be for you down the line later this year when the Pixel 4 launches or the new iPhones come. You might be considering making a switch from one or the other. Okay, so let's discuss the first feature, which is going to be the dark mode on both devices. Now there's three ways to turn this on for the iPhone on iOS 13. You can see right here, we can go ahead and turn it on there. That's in the control center itself. You can also hold down the brightness slider right here and enable it from the appearance in dark. In addition, there is a last method. Go to settings, and in settings you go to display and brightness, and you could see dark and light. Now we could put this on automatic and it's automatically going to go back because it knows the time of the day. Options, you can see sunrise to sunset or a custom schedule yourself. Now again, to turn that control center toggle on, you're just going to go to control center right here above display and brightness and customize controls, and you could see the dark appearance right there. Now for the Google device, let's leave it on dark mode while we're talking about dark mode. For the Google device, it's also up here in the notifications tray. If I hit dark theme, you could see there you go, it is on. Now in addition to that, you can also turn it on a similar way as the iPhone just by going to display and turning it on and off. I don't see a schedule button on here, so that might be an advantage over to the iPhone. Now in terms of the way their dark modes actually work, I find that it's a little more consistent here on the iOS platform. For example, if we go into news, you can see that Apple's own app, the news application, is all dark. Over here for the Google Pixel device, if I hit news, you can see that it's like white. Now you can go ahead and get the news application dark, but you have to do it through the settings in the Google News app. So with that being said, we do have a few that automatically turn, like the calculator turns dark here for the Pixel. If you take off dark theme, it will go to a light theme, whereas the calculator is kind of always dark on the iPhone device. If I can go ahead and find that wherever it is, it's kind of always dark. So I do find some inconsistencies on both of these when it comes to the dark modes, because not all applications do turn dark, or not all applications turn light on both of them. Like the calculator should be light in the daytime for the iPhone, for example. Now, another example, if we go to weather here, you can see, why is this not dark? I'm in the dark mode. If I'm reading the weather at night, I don't want this bright blue screen in my eyes. Over here on the Google device, same thing. Why is this weather application on the at a glance widget not dark when I turn on dark theme? So these little things like this, it's not fully dark, but the apps tray is dark, and it's definitely an improvement over Android 9 Pie, where you could just kind of make it a little bit dark in certain areas depending on the wallpaper. So big improvements there, and dark mode is welcome here for the iOS platform as well. If we go to calendar, you can see that that's also very dark. Same here with the Google Pixel 3 XL, very dark right there. Okay, so let's talk about gestures on both platforms. Now the iPhone XR has always had gestures since its inception, and the iPhone X brought this to the market here on the iPhone series. Now it's super smooth here on iOS 13, as it has been always on all of the iPhone X and up models here. So very easy. You just go ahead and swipe away, or you can swipe and hold and kind of go to the right and then go to your other applications and switch applications out. Very smooth gestures there. It's been pretty hard to match for a lot of Android phones. Now Pixel was kind of blocking the bottom of the screen, not giving you an all-screen display because of those little buttons that were down there. Now, some people probably still do prefer those, but this is all new here for Android Q, the gestures, and it's pretty much a straight copy from iOS 13. It looks very similar, but that's not a bad thing because that's a very smooth gesture there on the Pixel. Now, if we go over here to settings and we type in gestures up here, let's go to gestures, you can see that we have different options versus the way we do on the iPhone with just one. That's all you get. Now that could be more simplistic if you ask me. I think that's pretty simple. You only have one way. But still, the customization factor of Android is still evident here, even in 2019. With 2-button navigation, you could go back to the old style, or even 3-button navigation to the super old way of navigating an Android phone. So any way you want to do it, you can do it. Now, I don't know if this is going to stick around forever, but maybe Google's throwing it in there for those of you who are not ready to embrace the gestures just yet. Now, a different way that this goes ahead and switches between apps is that you hold down half press and then you go through your applications. Now, one big difference between the Pixel and the iPhone is that you can clear all your applications just like that. So that's a benefit to the Pixel. In addition, you can also go ahead and swipe back like this. So instead of just swiping away or hitting some icon up at the top on the iPhone to go back, you just swipe right here. Now I kind of like that a lot. If you don't want to kind of bring your hand down all the way here to the gesture, you can just swipe back like that. So that's pretty good stuff. And that's basically how the gestures are going to work on both devices. For me, I'm kind of feeling the smooth feel of the iPhone, but I like the customization. I like the back gesture here on the Pixel, but it's going to take a lot of getting used to for those of you who aren't used to gestures on the Pixel, but it does extend your screen and doesn't have buttons in the way of many of the software applications. So iOS 13 or Android Q when it comes to information at a glance. Now, you have this right here, the Google Now section over here off to the left, which has always been, and you also have at a glance widget up here. You can add more widgets to anywhere on the home screen, so Android's been crushing it in that regard for the longest time. You could still do that on the Pixel, of course. Over here on the iPhone, you have a widgets tray off to the left that allows you to populate, with information. However, because it's the iPhone, you can't squeeze it down like you can on the iPad and get it right on that home screen like for iPad OS. So I do think getting information at a glance is still much better for the Google Pixel series, and you can populate, again, widgets however you want all over the screen. Now, this could be a little more clean if you like all your widgets here, but still, just to see it right when you open it up, the Pixel gets the win there. Okay, so one feature that Google really has going for it, and this is all Android phones basically, is the split screen. Now, you cannot do this for the iPhone, and this is really unfortunate because we're going to buy an iPhone 11 here, are we? Are you buying an iPhone 11, 11R, 11 Max? Let us know down below. And there's still no way to split these applications. Now, a lot of people will argue that I don't need split screen on a smartphone, but I will argue that it's very useful. And when you don't have it, there's those few times where it's just annoying to not have to be able or not be able to see information you need really quickly on the bottom. And so you can multitask up at the top. Now, I think when you get into 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 apps, that can be a little bit overbearing, unnecessary, but just a standard split screen mode on both of them would be welcome. Google has the win here over Apple, in my personal opinion. Okay, so I wanted to mention that you see how these are both dark here. We're going to talk about typing in a minute. The Apple iPhone's dark mode automatically put iMessage in the dark mode, where I had to turn it on for the Pixel over here in the settings. I had to put on dark mode. So just keep that in mind. Like I say, sometimes the applications aren't dark by default on the dark theme for the Pixel. You might have to turn them on. But Apple brings a quick path keyboard here in the iOS 13 beta, which is nice. Hey, what is up? Or what is up right here? And you can see that's very clean. Google has had this forever, and we know that's a direct take from the Android, but hey, we need that on the iPhone. This makes typing a lot faster for certain people. Now, I gotta say that the emojis I still think are really nice on the iPhone by comparison, but still, there's plenty over here in Android Q as well. So I don't think this is gonna be a deciding factor, the emojis, but there is something that the Pixel 3 doesn't have anyway. Maybe they'll bring it on before, we'll see. But this phone right here has Memoji stickers using the Face ID camera to go ahead and kind of analyze your face and make your own sticker pack. So that's a cool thing here for the iPhone XR you don't get on the Pixel. So that's kind of like what the typing experience is going to be like. But I do have to mention one major factor about the keyboard. So you only have 2 themes on here, and this plays back into the customization factor of Android. If we go over here in the settings and we go to theme, you have so many different keyboard color options you can get for the Pixel. This goes for all Android devices as well. So that's a nice touch here for this device. Okay, so let's go to accessibility, because both of these have some amazing accessibility features, and the Pixel brings live transcribe as well as live caption. So this brings some nice new accessibility features. It's going to really be useful for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. And you do have voice control here for the Apple iPhone on iOS 13 gets improved by a lot. So both of these are some of the best phones in the business for accessibility features if you do take advantage of those. So keep that in mind. Two great phones for accessibility. So both of them have quick shortcuts to applications. So if we go into, like, say, the Play Store, if I hold this down, you can see my apps. If I hold down App Store, rearrange applications. If I go home here and I go to, say, YouTube, let's find YouTube on this phone. You can see I can do many actions right there. Same here, trending subscriptions. Sometimes there's a little bit more features on the iPhone device over here, but I gotta say that both of them do have quite a few shortcuts that you can go to with your applications. You see a little bit of a bug right there. That's what we get when we use beta sometimes. But still, you gotta admit that they both have some pretty nice shortcuts. It's actually a first for the iPhone XR to actually have those shortcuts, and that's pretty much frozen up right here live on video after I just was saying it's super stable. So maybe not as stable as it could be just yet, but both of them do have shortcuts. Nice touch. Couple of other mentions, notifications on the Google Pixel 3 XL have a lot more actions and they're a little bit more neat in terms of the way you use them. They still come in a kind of a longer list here and gets a little cluttered for the iPhone. So I also want to take a look at the wallpapers. You can see on the iPhone, they don't give you too many. I mean, there's a few, but not that many. And over here for the Google Pixel, you get all of these wallpapers. And one little difference is that there's some living wallpapers that actually are kind of live in the background here for the Pixel device. The way they show the text right here is also bigger here in Android Q, if you were wondering. And that wallpaper actually moves. If you see that little light fraction in the back, it's just moving with that wallpaper right there. That's something you don't see too often on the iPhone. So you can dark appearance dim these wallpapers as well if you would like. I just gotta say that I like the wallpaper selection on the Pixel. It just gives you so many more options, whereas Apple usually does that on the Mac, but not so much on the iPhone. Just a small little thing I noticed. So which one feels smoother? And that's pretty hard. They both feel very smooth. I think both of these could benefit from getting a higher, hertz display, kind of like what OnePlus 7 Pro has. But honestly, I couldn't tell too much of a difference. I think Apple's gestures are a little bit smoother still, but just scrolling the panels and going through applications, not a great deal of difference. Maybe the iPhone a little bit smoother in some app launches than like not well developed applications for the Pixel third-party apps, for example. But I think you'll be happy with the smooth feel on both of them. But both, again, could benefit from ultra smooth upgrades in the hertz displays. So like if we go to a 90 hertz for the Pixel 4, for example, or if we go to 120 hertz, ProMotion display for iPhone in 2020, that's going to be huge updates. So in terms of smooth, I wouldn't pick either of these thinking one is so much smoother than the other. So in conclusion, there is such a great deal of similarities, but the major difference is the Google ecosystem versus the Apple ecosystem. And I think in terms of ecosystems, the Google ecosystem is pretty darn up there, getting close, because you got Chromebooks, for example, that work very well with the Pixel. If you're using all the Google services, I mean, many people use Macs, but still use the Google services. So this could work well even if you're using a Mac, because it's just the Google services basically. Over here, you got that Apple ecosystem with everything matching up nicely if you are using other Apple products as well. But I gotta say that in terms of feature set, they're very similar. They both have great accessibility features. They both use gestures. They both have like screen time modes where you can go to digital well-being. In the form of Apple, it's a screen time mode to check how you're doing if you're not getting too distracted, or if you're getting too distracted on your phone. Great notifications systems. I mean, there's tons for both of these, and really you're not going to find that many differences besides, again, just the ecosystem you want to go with. So at the end of the day, to me, there's no real clear winner here. I think that Android Q has gotten some long overdue features like a better gesture system and a better dark theme. Also, dark theme was long overdue for iOS 13. That helps out a lot as well on this platform. And seeing things like the quick shortcuts become universal, even coming to the XR, is a nice touch, I think. But other than that, these softwares are refinements. These are not game-changing softwares. What these are is just improved upon already really good softwares that just are adding features that they didn't have before. So what are your thoughts? Are you going with iOS 13 this year, Android Q? Let us know down below in the comments section, and share anything that I missed in this video to help the community out. Or if you got any other questions, comments, concerns, you know what to do. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Subscribe if you haven't already. We got Note 10 content coming, as well as iOS 13, more of that content coming with the official. We'll cover the official Android Q as well. We'll speed test them when they have the officials. So stay tuned for that. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.